You're watching Mondays, Not Just Crew.
Well, welcome to Not Just Crew, and today we're in the beautiful and historic market town of Horsham, a town that has long been associated with airline crews and airport workers. Well, Horsham Council, along with Enterprise Nation, invited the crew market along to join their plan to reinvent the high street.
Well, hello to all Not Just Crew members and followers. At last, we're in something that we've been working on for quite a while now with Gemma, Brazier from Crew Businesses. We're in Horsham, as you can see here, pop-up Horsham, reinventing the high street. Now, the crew market is a project we've been going on for just over a year now, and it's really building up momentum. So when we were asked to come in and actually host a physical shop, we absolutely loved it. We're not by ourselves. There's many other businesses here as well. So we're going to show you a few of those. Have a look at some of these. So here we are, almost coming up to a year since we started up the crew market. It just started off as a little idea. I'm here with our fellow creator. Can you believe where we are now?
No, it's been amazing.
It has, hasn't it?
Finally, to get to this point, it's just incredible.
I cannot believe how far this has come. We've had some amazing crews. It literally started off as stall holders where we had that as a Christmas market. We're now calling them collections because some of the stuff we have here is absolutely amazing. So Gemma, the ordering process is so different. It's so different from a shop point of view, but not what we're used to on the crew market. Obviously, we're sort of getting used to online selling now. So customers are going to walk into the crew market shop in Horsham. You've got to come down. This is amazing. So what happens? They walk into here.
So
what's the ordering process?
we're right at the very front of the shop. So we've got a really prominent area. We've got a selection of some of our amazing businesses from the market. So it's bringing together our online website to the high street. So you get the experience of being able to pick up the items, smell the candles, look at the fabric, that kind of thing. It's merging high street shopping with an online delivery experience. So say, for example, you wanted to purchase this lovely reed diffuser from My Candle. You just take your phone, pop the camera on, and you just scan the QR code on the back.
So look, literally got a QR code here. So you walk into the shop. So we're not holding stock here, are we?
So stock's not held in the store. Everything is sent out by our business owners like they would do normally on the website. So this is a chance for customers to come in. They can smell the candles, look at the product, look at the packaging. Those kind of sensory experiences that you don't get when you're online shopping. So you only get that from when you're on the high street.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing. So we can't believe we're literally here a year later. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a little look around the shop now, speak to a couple of the stallers. So join us in a few minutes. Right, Karina, we're having a good chat with you over there. Now's the time to actually see some of your amazing illustrations. Before we go into them, your background in art history?
Yeah, not much really. It was just a bit of a hobby to start off with. And then I was made redundant from Emirates last year. And how I got the idea for Plain Jane was a lot of my crew friends, they had these beautiful photo shoots done in the desert. But because when I left it was such a whirlwind.
Well, it all happened quickly.
It happened so quickly. It's just one of my biggest regrets not having that done. So what I did instead is I kind of did myself my own little illustrations instead of the photo shoot.
You're very modest with these illustrations because you are. Because you say, I mean, you have no background in art.
No, it's just really a hobby.
Wow. Well, I tell you, for somebody who said it is literally just a hobby, I've got to show you some of these.
Please do.
I mean, look, take this one. There we go. Virgin Crew in New York.
It's one of my newer ones.
By the way, you don't just do Virgin, do you? There's many airlines. Go through them. But this is one I happen to pick up. So there's no point. Go for this illustration because to me, that would have taken, well, I just wouldn't be able to do it to that quality. So, I mean, what was the inspiration behind it? Is it because, I mean, I've seen pictures similar to this on Facebook.
Yeah.
This is the typical cabin crew shot.
Definitely.
So, tell us about it.
So like you say, a lot of the inspiration is from photographs, also fashion illustration as well. So the kind of simplistic background, which is drawn by pen, and then the rest is digitally drawn, the colour.
Wow, and so I mean, did you know about the computer side of it? Illustration. Did you do that yourself?
I did. Yeah.
Is that self-taught?
Self-taught, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Look, let me show another one because I don't want to sort of show any kind of airline bias there. Don't, in fact, use because I don't want to.
Yeah. So
this is your old airline.
Yeah. So this was one of the first ones I did actually.
Yeah.
So this one, and there is another one here as well. Right, where is it? Okay, don't know where that one is.
Listen, we love live footage.
There it is. So these ones were one of the first ones I did.
Yeah.
So when I was talking about the desert photo shoots, this was the kind of image that a lot of my crew friends were getting done, and that I was very jealous about.
Well, and I'd say the sort of being new to business, and it all looks very, very professional. We were chatting to Gemma earlier about the background of the market and how it got started. But the logistics of this, to have these printed, you had to approach a specialist printer on your own?
Initially, yeah. Now I print them all in-house.
Yeah.
So quite a significant amount of investment, getting all the equipment and all of that. But yeah, initially did have to sort out some local printers.
Where was because it takes, I mean, one of the reasons we set up the crew market was to take a lot of pressure out of crew who want to start their own market, especially in sort of payments. We were chatting to Gemma earlier about the QR code system we're using just to make it a bit easier. But approaching printers, I mean, how did you decide on how many print runs? Did you have to set up a separate business bank account?
Yeah, I mean, all very complicated and nothing that I'd ever really experienced or had much knowledge in before.
Knowing what you know now then, what would you have changed when it came to a manufacturing process? Or was it all a learning curve?
All a learning curve, and I think that's the whole thing about starting a new business is you're going to make mistakes. It's all about trial and error, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think one of the reasons why where I've got to where I am now, where I do think the quality of my prints is very high, is going through that process.
Quality is definitely high. And so where do you want this to take you next?
So at the moment I'm looking at expanding my range, so not only to appeal to cabin crew and those in aviation, but anyone that has any affinity with travel in general, which I think most of us do.
Brilliant. This is amazing. Well, look, we're going to chat to you a bit later as well.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'll be chatting to Gemma over there. Right, we're at an amazing pop-up shop in Horsham. This is something we've been looking at for a long, long time. I'm here with my fellow co-founder of the Crew Market, Gemma, Brazier. How amazing is this? Literally a year after we started the Christmas Crew Market, as it was then, we are literally in a physical shop. So, knowing what you know now, and we're in a physical shop, was there anything you would have changed from last year?
No, I think it's naturally progressed the way it should have, really. It was new to all of us. We'd all come from long careers in aviation. None of us knew what we were going to be doing next after being made redundant. So I think going from that awful news we had last summer of being made redundant, the shock for everybody of losing their careers for so many years. But like we said, we sat down, didn't we, in October of last year. We wanted to do something positive for everybody, and this is the result at the end of it, to see their actual products and their businesses finally on the high street.
And this literally all started from let's call it a very civilised dinner in Bournemouth, where a few crew got together, started up a group called Not Just Crew. Gemma would have had crew businesses, and with all the devastation really of what's going on, we've decided to turn a negative into a positive. Now, how many Crew Market collections have we got here?
So we've got 13 here today, but which is just a small representation of what we do offer on the website. Obviously, we couldn't have everybody, and we've got lots of services and wonderful other products that are slightly too big that we can have in the shop today. But yeah, we've got a really nice selection, but that doesn't mean that all the other products aren't still available to buy on the website. So there is a huge range on there. This is just a very small selection that we could get onto the high street, but they're absolutely fantastic, and we're just so honoured to be here.
It is, and it is an amazing collection. There's some other collections here, and hopefully we'll go around and speak to some of the our colleagues here at the pop-up shop. Now, I know they've got a hashtag. Can you remember it?
Reinventing the high street.
Reinventing the high street. So listen, if you're in the Horsham area, please come down. You'll have a great time. There's some great stall holders here, collections. You'll absolutely love it. Right, I'm going to go and speak to one of our collections, aren't I? Over there. Dave, thank you so much for chatting us here at Not Just Crew. This project has created a buzz. I was speaking to your colleague earlier. The shop hasn't even opened yet, and yet you can hear it as well. There's a real buzz going around here. What does this shop actually mean to you? And I mean, it's part of your vision as well, with a couple of others, that is actually physically here.
Yeah. So first and foremost, it's bringing smaller businesses into the high street, allowing them to kind of put their wares out there and meet and speak to customers. One thing that's important to me is the sustainability and environmental aspect of it. Ourselves at Pyro Recycling, we donated the TVs here and the screens, so we're kind of big on the environmental side of it as well. And seeing smaller entrepreneurs coming in and doing the same thing with their goods, it's just fantastic. Having it on the high street here as well, having it on the local area on a pedestrianised area, so it's the footfall, the buzz, everything's just fantastic.
So how hard was it actually to get everything together? I mean, let's say this is a big shop.
It's a big shop.
The viewers won't be able to see it, but this is big, and I know a lease on this would be very, very expensive. How did you get it all together? Because I know whether you love councils or not, they don't like to give money away generally. Yeah. So what was the? I mean, how did you persuade them?
Well, so mainly it's down to the persuasion of the economic council within the Horsham District Council. It's been done before 5 years ago. It was very, very successful back then and was open for around a year or so. And with a lot of shops being closed, there's also a lot of shops closing down on the high street. So it's just another opportunity to bring some of the smaller entrepreneurs that have been kind of building up businesses through the lockdowns. They've kind of done very well for themselves, very successfully. And this will just help them push on to the next level.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I particularly like about it. For a new business, it can be quite terrifying starting up your own business. But just being here on other side business to an exactly the same level is a real good opportunity to network and, of course, learn ideas. But say it's not just a shop downstairs. Upstairs, you've got a learning hub.
Yep.
How was that purely a Horsham initiative, or because I see you've got enterprise sort of zones and there. How was it hard to get them involved, or were they very pleased to take part?
Very, very pleased to take part.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. It's another way of getting people involved in being entrepreneurs, people involved in businesses, trying to put some life back into the high street.
Yeah.
Incredibly important.
That's brilliant. Well, look, thank you so much for speaking to us. Right, we've got to be really quiet. We've got the one show going behind us. What do you think, James? Something from the crew market. Famous. We're here with Charlie again. We were chatting to you a bit earlier. In fact, you came on our radio show with Simon and I, Travel Radio. So we're actually here now.
We are.
Pop-up Horsham.
We are here.
Yeah, I did forget the name, but it's right behind here.
It's just right up
here.
here.
It's right behind here. Reinventing the High Street is the hashtag. Now, you're one of the sort of main principal creators of this. I want to know, because you were cabin crew first.
Yeah.
How long are you cabin crew, and how did you even get involved in this amazing pop-up?
So I was cabin crew for 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. 12 long years.
It goes quick.
I know. But when I left, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
As I think many of us aren't. So, and I'd had children, which made it difficult to find childcare. So I actually went and worked for the ambulance service for a while.
Oh,
but
wow.
I did then have a bookshop in the market in Horsham. And it kind of progressed from there, because obviously in a bookshop you can't really have books in winter in the market.
Yeah.
So I looked at the shops and I thought, well, there's loads of empty shops. Why can't I just go in one? And realised how difficult it was. And then I went on a bit of mission and took membership of Enterprise Nation and became very involved in promoting small business on the high street. And through that came trade missions and more pop-up shops and things. And I've kind of been doing it ever since. I do have lots going on, but
well, it's made. I mean, again, what I'm noticing is how everyone is so modest about what they do. I only did this, I only did that. But I mean, this is Enterprise Nation. Tell us a bit about them.
So Enterprise Nation are a really amazing business community. It was founded by Emma Jones, and it's something that I would encourage all startup businesses to get involved in. There's just so much out there, and it can be really, really hard. I think when you're starting a business, you're like, do I need insurance? Do I need business advice? And you can go to, there are other places obviously, but you can go to Enterprise Nation, and it's all in one place, and it's a really friendly kind of atmosphere. It's much more of a community, and that's kind of something that we wanted to replicate on a really small scale with Pop-Up Horsham now that we're down on the high street.
So, I mean, to actually physically be in a shop, and this isn't a small shop. I mean, this is quite big on 2 and a bit floors.
Yeah.
Almost 3 floors. So, other than the Crew Market, what other kind of businesses have they got coming? And how did they find out about you? Did they join the Enterprise Nation, or did they just they happen to bump into you?
I think they basically happened to bump into us. No, they didn't really. So it's not just me working on this.
Yeah.
It's a team of us.
You can give them a mention.
It's the team. It's Laura from Go Plan B and Matt from Blue Flame Design.
Wow.
And we also have a wider team working with us. We've got Inbuild, who are our shop fitters. And everyone kind of found each other on the Small Business Network.
Yeah.
So because everyone's very close, everyone goes through the same sort of things. Horsham District Council obviously initiated this because they're the ones funding it and backing it. But they wanted it to be run by small business consultants, and because we are at grassroots level, this is what we do. We're working with small businesses. They said, would you kind of take this on? And we did. And also we are 100% committed because we are small businesses ourselves. So that's who is coming downstairs. They're people like us.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So hopefully you'll pop up in Horsham. Tongue twister. So when you come in, so we're on the 2nd floor now, and I'll show you some shots later. But this is what you call sort of enterprise zone. This is where we are now.
This is our workshopping and business area. So business education is a massive part of what we do. So pop-up's been around, obviously, as you know, for such a long time. Pop-up retail is a massive thing. Huge brands do it. You know, Kylie Jenner. Pops up. It's a massive thing, but this is something that is needed on a high street grassroots level, having people in to experiment with retail and talk to sellers and get feedback, but also at the same time providing them with the kind of education that they need. How do you get grant funding? How do you do a website? How do I do my branding? How do I do social media? All of these kind of questions that sometimes people are a little bit afraid to ask, we can answer here.
It is terrifying. This is one thing we noticed when we set up Not Just Crew Businesses and the Christmas Crew Market. One of our sort of main goals was and one of the biggest fears that came up was card processing.
Yeah.
Taking payment. So we try to take away all that fear from them. And I mean, you're way beyond us. I mean, say behind me, you can't see this now, but it's like a lecture hall. And these is this all going to start tomorrow as well? The talks, or is that going to run concurrently with the shop downstairs?
It will run as the shop continues. So we have an events calendar on our website, and so workshops will be booked in, and then everyone in the shop will be invited to take part, but also everyone in the wider community, because this is a constant flow of entrepreneurs coming in downstairs, taking advantage of what we have to offer, and then perhaps going off and taking a shop of their own, redoing their website, discovering that perhaps hybrid selling is better for them, a bit of online, offline. And it's just everyone's journey is so individual, and we're really trying to nurture that and kind of give them the confidence to carry on.
No, I can see that, and I say I've been totally blown away. In fact, it's something that we'd love to have a separate interview, another program on another time. Because I say one of the main things we've always wanted to do is help crews start their own business. But it seems absolutely perfect. Well, look, thank you so much, honestly, and what you've done here is amazing. And you must be amazed yourself actually seeing it.
I'm really shocked, actually.
You started off as a vision. Well, it just shows any vision, can
anyone can
become
do it.
a
Exactly.
reality.
Anyone
Lovely.
can do it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Cheers. Welcome back to Pop-Up Horsham. We're here with our neighbours here at the Crew Market, Simon Mitchell of Green Laurels. Simon, firstly, thank you very much for being our neighbours and looking after our stuff when we haven't been around. Very much appreciated. Tell us a bit about, well, firstly, your entrepreneurial spirit and your collection.
Well, I started Green Laurels at the beginning of last year, 2020, and I've always been a very creative person. I used to do photography, so keeping with the creative theme, I developed this range of products for you.
Well, it is quite a range. Just go through some of the products you've got here.
Yeah. Well, I started with the candles and soap as well. Those are the first products that I created. And it all came about because I was looking for products that I could sell of my own brand.
Yeah.
And that came from a conversation working as a photographer in a Santa's grotto. And I got chatting to Santa, and he said that his daughter had been very successfully selling bathroom products. And it kind of lit eco-friendly. There's a light bulb in my mind. I thought, right, that is exactly what I need to be doing. So I investigated wax candles and soap first of all. Up until that point, I hadn't got a clue that you could make soap at home.
Yeah.
So it's been a really creative, fun, interesting journey for me.
And it's been quite a learning curve for you. I mean, have you got skills now that you possibly didn't think existed a few years ago? I mean, again, say you had to sit down, you had to do all this branding. I mean, some of your sources. How did you go about sourcing some beautiful bottles like this? Where would you even start?
Well, that was my question too, and so I kind of trawled the internet to find UK companies, but also on eBay as well. There's been a number of different products that I found on there. But last year in lockdown, I found that a lot of products, a lot of companies stopped selling. They just closed down, shut their doors. So it became very, very difficult, which was an added challenge.
Oh, definitely.
To find those.
Well, it's absolutely amazing. Once again, thank you for being our neighbour and looking after our stuff. Well, welcome back to Horsham. This is opening day for the Crew Market. The doors will be open at 12:30, which leaves us at roughly just over half an hour. Already this morning, the mayor's been in and some of the councils, and as from today, new businesses will be starting upstairs through tutorials with Enterprise. So you've got to remember, follow the hashtag reinventing the high street. Well, welcome back. I'm with Chris Brown, Cabinet Member for the Economy of Horsham. I'm Gavin. Pop-up shop, what does this mean to Horsham?
Fantastic opportunity. A pandemic was horrendous, wasn't it, for everybody? I know it's a tired old phrase to say it was unprecedented, but it really was. And Horsham, we have such close ties with Gatwick and local businesses, and so many people were affected by the pandemic, lost their jobs. We've come to the end of furlough now, as we know. That's brought uncertainty, but it's also brought opportunity. It's given people the chance to rethink their career a little bit, think about the things they always wanted to do. Lots of us have an entrepreneurial spirit, don't we? That we've been burying that for years, and this is an opportunity to have a go at it. So what we're doing here is we're creating the space and the opportunity for anybody with an idea, entrepreneurs, people with a vision or a plan, to come and use this space. But it's not just about the retail space, it's also a hub. So you can network, you can take advantage of the council's offerings in terms of upskilling, training. There's all sorts of things going on here. And what we're doing is, this is a pop-up shop to reinvent the high street. So it's a bit of a it's a bit of a trial, it's a bit of an experiment to see how it works. We want to see that if we can give local people a step up, just that first step up that they need to get their idea off the ground, then we think that will be a benefit for the economy.
Yeah, we've had so many crew and aviation staff being made redundant. Now, a lot of those at first were very despondent about what they're going to do. I know you've had a similar situation in the past yourself. Knowing what you know now, what would you change to give anyone a positive message?
What would I change?
Yeah, what would you do knowing what you know now? Mm-hmm. What message could you give to anyone who's thinking about starting their own company? They've been despondent in the past. Question of just going for it, or
I think the message to give people is that there is opportunity there.
Yeah.
I think that the world has changed. I think if you're asking what's changed, it's probably that the environment's changed in terms of now it's more acceptable to be an entrepreneur and to give it a go. Yeah. People don't necessarily take a step back about your ideas. The support's there. We're there to support you. The council will support you. Your friends and family will support you. Yeah. And don't be despondent. And it is tough. And nobody's saying it's going to be easy, but get out there and give it a go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, already. The shops hasn't even opened yet, but you can already hear a buzz in the background. Yeah, it is, and and so many people try to walk through that door already, and we're not even open. So we're really looking forward to that. Look, thank you so much for your time and speaking to Not Just Crew. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, Gemma, that was Horsham. A fair few hours of your work spent setting this up. Such an exciting project for us to be offered. I only got a brief chance to talk about you in the video because you were so busy in this shop. Just sort of summarise how the whole thing started. It's come to a sort of end now because of the lease, and slight twist in the story, which is good for Horsham as well. But yeah, just summarise the last year for us.
Oh, well, what an incredible year. I think that was the highlight for us, definitely, was being invited into the pop-up shop by Charlie and the pop-up agents. This opportunity in Horsham was a really great starting point for us to be able to get the physical products that we have online into a high street store. The whole premise was reinventing the high street, and for these new businesses that had just started in the pandemic by people who had been made redundant, for them to be able to kind of dip their toe into actually getting into an actual store in a retail environment for us was just so exciting. And definitely being highlighted by the One Show and lovely Karina from Plain Jane. What an incredible experience for everybody. So yeah, we're very, very fortunate, and I think it definitely topped off our year.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It was an amazing experience. I had a great time coming down, seeing you guys, filming the One Show, filming Karina, and it was an amazing experience. Say something new for us. Definitely a feather in our cap. We can say we've been on the BBC, but I know you put so much effort into that. And say not just Crew, it was absolute pleasure.
The vendors made it possible because they sent me all of their items. They made it so easy for me to be able to get their items in store. And we had all the lovely labels printed with advice and guidance from Charlie and the pop-up agents. We were really able to, I think, make our area look fantastic. And it was just lovely to meet all of the other store holders, the small business owners in Horsham, and we've made relationships there, which has been great for us as well. For me and you, obviously, we had no experience previously of having an online shop. So for us, it's a learning curve every step of the way too. So to get guidance and advice from the business community in Horsham, we were just very, very fortunate to have that opportunity. And I really hope that opportunity may arise this year and in the near future for us to get even more of our businesses into a high street environment and actually have that customer experience where we can interact in. Again, everything is ever evolving for us with the online market. So we're learning as we're going along what works for us, what doesn't work for us, what works for our vendors. And yeah, we're gradually going and seeing more and more businesses join us, which is fantastic. And I really hope we have another opportunity to get even more into the high street this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, the welcome we got, not just from the people of Horsham, but from the sort of Chamber of Commerce, You've seen a couple of interviews I've had with the councillors there, people promoting business. Now, it has closed, but that's not necessarily a sad thing. Tell us a bit more about what's happened to the shop since.
So yeah, it was only a temporary over the Christmas period that the shop was going to be open. We were due to be there until the end of March, but it did have to close at the end of January. And this was due to the council who owned the premises and had kindly lent them to the pop-up agents for a period of time. They found new tenants to actually go into the building. So a new shop actually wanted to use those premises, which is obviously great for the high street because we are seeing so many shops shut down. The high street is becoming quieter and quieter. So for that business, especially for them to be able to get such a fantastic building, and it was over like 2 floors, wasn't it? It was a really large area. So yeah, it's great for Horsham that a new business has gone in there. We really hope the high street does pick up. We need the footfall in and out of our town centres, because as everything just starts closing and they become ghost towns, and for these small businesses, they don't have the financial support like all the big companies, the Amazons, the eBays, the big chains that the retailers online. So they have to have somewhere to be able to get their names out there, and hopefully we'll be able to do that for them a little bit more this year.
Yeah, well, brilliant. Well, I mean, again, massive team effort, led by you, of course. You know, you put Not Just Crew and the Crew market into a different gear, a totally different gear, and we're excited about what's going to be going on with the Crew market in the next few months. So, Gemma, once again, thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to meeting you in person again soon.
Thank you, Trevor.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, there's my aeroplane gone flying.